Hey guys, it's Aaron here with Straight Line Cycles. So, a while back we entered the next American Innovator, and I didn't think that I would make top 30. But I did. And then I didn't think I would make top 8.
Next on the roster is Aaron Cooley with his 1997 Kawasaki KX125. So Paul, as a bike builder, this guy had $100, never built a bike before, got one for $100, decided to completely strip it, flip it upside down, as one does, the frame, and then somehow cradle the engine back in and get it to all to work together. So as a bike builder, what are your thoughts on this?
Man, I gotta tell you, dude, this bike to me, when the pictures started coming in, this was one of the first ones we got, one of the early pictures. And I was like, oh my God, this thing, I did not expect it. And I was like, if this is any idea of what we're gonna start seeing creatively, it got me pretty excited. Because honestly, this class I wasn't sure what we were gonna get from this, honestly, because it's not an area that I'm an expert in, although I appreciate it and I see all the value in it. But man, when this thing comes in and I'm looking at it and I'm reading what he spent on it, and it's upside down and it looks right. I mean, the thing looks right upside down. That's crazy. It's not goofy. It looks, the guy did a great job, and he had no budget. That's even better. So, I think when I look at that and I read his story, I'm like, well, you talk about innovation, right? Because the word innovator is in the namesake, and it's a bit of a tall name because it's almost a little bit intimidating, the next American innovator. But the truth is, he kind of like happened upon building that thing upside down, and he went all the way with it, and he's way into it. So creatively, I mean, it's killer. I just think it's one of the coolest things I've seen across the board, to be honest with you, because you just don't see people doing that kind of thing and making it look right. Because see, people do goofy things that unusual, but when something looks right and it's done well, that's innovation, right? I mean, it's a complete freak show, pretty much, So I like that right out of the gate, and I was like, if this is what we're getting, then we're doing it. This is happening,
Yeah,
so it was good. I love it.
It rides lower. It was a smart idea. It almost gives it like a chopper feel to it now.
Yeah, and I guess technically the rake's the same, right? You're just flipping it upside down. You can put the whole front end back on it.
The steering stem works upside down. It just
It's
rakes
great.
it up. It's unbelievable.
I know.
Unreal.
And I'll tell you, when I first looked at it, I'm looking at this thing and I'm like, what the heck am I looking at? And then I read and I was like, oh, that's unbelievable. And he calls it, what's he call it? The Diecycle. Yeah. So.
But I did. And now, I just found out that me and the Diecycle won the next American Innovator.
So what's going on, Aaron?
Craziness, absolute craziness.
Well, hey, listen, I'm really just reaching out because I wanted to get a little bit more on the background of who you are, and then maybe just hear a little bit more about how this bike came to be. And before we go too far, I just want to say thank you for being a part of this competition. This is a first of its kind, and we're very excited about it. And, we love your bike and the different bikes that we're looking at. So tell me a little bit about yourself.
After I graduated from high school, I went into the Air Force. I was a vehicle operator and I kind of learned more skills than I would have sort of anywhere else. Electronics, wiring, just all kinds of stuff. And whenever I got out of high school, I kind of started this journey of just collecting as much knowledge as possible. I lost my mom back in 2009, and ever since then, I've just tried to make her proud in whatever I do, you know. And here about 2 years ago is whenever I first found God.
So tell me a little bit about this bike. Where does this thing come from? How did it come about? Give me the talking points.
So I'm a parts delivery driver for a company here in Springfield, and I delivered to this company called B&R in Ozark. One day I was wanting to build something, but I didn't quite know what it was, and I asked him, I'm looking for an engine, a 125cc engine that has to be water cooled. And sure enough, he said, I have a whole dirt bike for sale for $100 if you want it. And I was like, yes, definitely. Took it home, started tearing it down, and then I realized that the angle of the neck wasn't gonna work for what I wanted. So I was just kind of bouncing around options, and I literally bent down to pick up a bolt, and I happened to look at the neck backward, upside down, and it just all came into my head like an animation. And like all the parts just started coming together, and I was like, I have to build it. I absolutely have to build it. When you flip it upside down, the bearings on the bottom and top, they're big and small. That gets flipped around. So you have to take your stem and come in through the top and bolt it from the bottom.
Gotcha.
And new motor mounts, that of course, but the swing arm, it just goes right in. I like to think that it kind of built itself, but
it took a little bit of engineering, it seems.
a little bit.
There it is in the background. I'll tell you, when we first saw this, when this first came through, I got me pretty excited about this competition because it's a pretty unique piece, even among a great field of motorcycles. It really has a unique look to it. The idea of flipping it upside down and it still looks right. It's just a really fun, overall very compelling piece.
It is my first motorcycle build, but with that said, I watched all of your guys' shows.
Oh.
So whenever I saw the angle of that brake, I just knew. I knew it had to be. And I did a lot of research about anybody flipping the frame on a motorcycle. I think I might be the first one to ever do it.
So your inspiration initially, what you were looking for was kind of a chopper then, right? You wanted something a little bit more raked out than a stock bike. And so this is how you came to the conclusion on it.
And at first, my option, I thought, was, cut the neck off, re-weld it at a different angle. But then I saw that upside down and was like, it'll work. It's a 45-degree angle.
So did the front end work in its entirety as well?
Well, when I got the bike, it didn't really have a front end. So I had to kind of piece together what would fit in the bearing size and all that to make it work. Because it's hard to find custom sized bearings for big and small and up and down. And so I just said, let's go back to the original stem, put it into the new triple tree, and enlarge the hole, make it kind of work.
Well, good. Again, I just wanted to get a little bit more information from you. And really, I think before we get off the Zoom, I just wanted to let you know that you won the Next American Innovators Judge's Choice. You are the
What? Really?
Yes, sir. You've won.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
That is so awesome.
Yeah, congratulations, man. So you won a Honda Super Cub, compliments of Chapman Paris Honda and Yamaha out there in Paris, Texas. And you don't even have to go get this thing because Haggerty Motorcycle will deliver it to your door. So congratulations.
Oh, wow.
You had a really good field of judges here, and ultimately you were our choice. So congratulations, man. And thank you so much for being a part of this.
This is so incredible. I never dreamed in a million years that A, I would build the bike, B, you'd be the one to see it, and 3, I won.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah, you know, you're spearheading this really cool initiative. It's called the Next American Innovator. Just tell us briefly what that's about and what's your goal there.
Well, you know, during the pandemic, I was trying to think about how I can pay forward all of this amazing opportunity I've been afforded by a global audience, by Discovery Channel. You know, the show's been 200 countries and territories around the world in 90 languages since 2002, which is unbelievable. And it's the fans that have kept us there. So I started to brainstorm during this pandemic, and I realized people are able to go and show their cars and motorcycles that they've customized because of the pandemic. There's no more real car and bike shows in most of the country. So I figured I would create a platform that would be able to showcase or put a spotlight on some of these people who may be in the middle of nowhere and nobody knows who they are, but they're just extremely talented. And this is the competition that we've come up with. It's a great competition. We're giving away 2 brand new motorcycles, a Honda Cub and a Honda Monkey. And so it costs nothing to join. And all you do is send your pictures in. We broke it down to a top 30, then a top 8. And people get to choose who wins one of the motorcycles. And then we have this panel of judges that are very qualified. And we're going to pick who wins the judge's choice. So it's pretty awesome because people who never had an opportunity, and I'm using my global platform and all my social media to drive people there, and we can do this across anything, motorcycles, cars, anything really automotive, and it could even go beyond that because the name, the Next American Innovator, it's not the next motorcycle builder or car builder, it's a pretty big name. It's actually slightly intimidating, but I figured, you know, we might as well go big with the namesake. And so far, it's working phenomenally, and no one's doing anything like this out there. And I love that I'm able to pay it forward after all these years.
What? I won? Really? I can't believe it. I cannot believe that my first bike build that I've ever done went as far as Paul Jr., who I look up to since the first episode of American Choppers. It's crazy. And I just hope that I can make something really awesome from this. Thank you.